What's going on, guys? This is Aiden, Bandwagon Sports. This is episode 5 of our prediction series, heading back to the SEC East, and we're hitting Kentucky in this episode. In my opinion, they're a very bad program. Every year they're always overrated just to finish 8-4, 7-5. They've been this way since they've had Will Levis. The entire time they had Will Levis, they were 10, 8, 15, 13 ranked in the top 25. And Kentucky's just not that good. They've always been overrated, and they've always looked really bad. Especially in the last half of the season. Kentucky will go 4-5-0, 6-0, and then they'll just drop every last game until they're down to, like I said, 8-4, 7-5. They've never been able to finish a season. If they could finish a season, then they would this conversation would be different. But they've never been able to finish a season, and I would like to see them do that this year. But the back half of their schedule, their last 5 games are incredibly hard. Their last 5 games are that's some of the hardest schedule I've ever seen. Heading into week 1, Ball State is coming to Kentucky. It's a 12 o'clock game. Ball State, not very good. Kentucky's going to have their way with this game. 1-0 for Kentucky. In week 2, Eastern Kentucky is coming to town. Eastern Kentucky, I didn't even know they had a football program. If I'm being honest. Eastern Kentucky not going to compete with Kentucky. Kentucky 2-0 on the season so far. In week 3, you have Akron coming to Kroger Field, coming to Kentucky. This game not going to be close. No contest, much like the previous 2 games. This is 3-0 for Kentucky. The next week, Kentucky, first time on the road, going to Vanderbilt. I like what Vanderbilt did last year. They went 5-7, almost went bowling. I would like to see them go bowling because that would be fantastic. I've never seen Kentucky or Vanderbilt in a bowl game, but I don't see that happening this year. Kentucky 4-0. Week 5, going back home against Florida. There's nothing like a good old-fashioned bum team game. Both Florida and Kentucky are very bad teams. Both of those teams have always been pretty okay. Kentucky and Florida, they're not very good. They've never been consistent contending teams, and I don't expect them to be. This game is going to be a slugfest. It's going to be terrible. But I am going to give this game to Kentucky because there are no ties. But this game, for the only reason being that it is at Kentucky. If this game's at Florida, in Gainesville, this game would be going to Florida. But because it's at Kroger Field, because it's in Kentucky, I'm giving this game to Kentucky. That is 5-0. 5-0 for Kentucky. Very surprising, considering how bad of a program this is. Next week, week 6, at Georgia. Kentucky's not going to be competitive in this game. It's going to be a very bad game for Kentucky. Georgia's going to absolutely manhandle them like they have been. Kentucky is going to be ranked, though. they're going to be a top 25 team because they're always overrated. Georgia is going to win this game. That is 5-1 for Kentucky. The next week, at home versus Missouri. Missouri, I like Missouri. I like what they were doing last year. They were able to keep it close last year with Georgia. Not many people did that last year. I'm going to take Missouri in this game because I think they're just a better program than Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky is very good at all. Then the next week, this is where you're going to see the crazy 5-game schedule. Next week not at Tennessee. Tennessee coming to Kentucky. This game, Tennessee is just going to have way too much firepower. It doesn't matter what Kentucky does because Tennessee is just going to be that much better than them. And I don't see it being close at all. Kentucky, 5-3. Next week, Kentucky going to Mississippi State. This game, Mississippi State, if they're playing just any solid game of ball, then Mississippi State's going to win this game. It won't be close. Mississippi State is going to win. As long as they can play a decent game. That is 5-4 for Kentucky. Going into the next week, this is going to be week 10. Nope, week 11. Week 11, Alabama coming to Kentucky. Alabama's just way too good for Kentucky. It could be an upset alert if Kentucky is playing very, very good this game, but I don't see that happening. So I'm going to give this game to Alabama, but this game could be an upset game. It could be a trap game. I wouldn't count on it, but it could be. 5-5 for Kentucky. Next week, going to Columbia, going to Bryant-Denny. Nope. Going to Willie Brice. Kentucky, this game will not be close. South Carolina is way too good of a program this year to drop games to Kentucky. South Carolina is going to win this game, blow out. It won't be close because it's in Williams-Brice Stadium. I don't think it'll be close. South Carolina's way too good for them. So I have South Carolina winning this game. That is 5-6 for Kentucky. The next week at Louisville, this game's going to be a really tough game for Kentucky because Kentucky does not have, because it's away and both teams are very bad. This could be a loss for Kentucky, but because it's Louisville, I'm not going to count on it. So I'm going to give this game to Kentucky, and that is 6-6 for Kentucky. Kentucky they're just not the same as they were with Will Levis. They don't have the same production coming back. I like what they were doing with Will Levis, but they could never get the pieces to put together around Will Levis. And now that Will Levis is gone, this team is not going to be worth anything. This program is just going to slowly decline, and it's not going to go anywhere. Kentucky, 6-6, going to make a minor bowl game, probably like the Bahamas Bowl or the Hawaii Bowl, something like that, playing against a group of 5 team. Anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts and comments down below. Let's grow this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.